everybody. A few years ago, we purchased some bare root stock fruit trees for our property. We bought 3 different apple trees and a sweet cherry tree. And now they are full of foliage, but there's not a single bloom on them. So it looks like, yet again, no fruit from those trees this year. Because of that, we just couldn't help ourselves. We were at the nursery and we saw this Bonfire Dwarf Peach tree that was just completely covered in blossoms. Seemed to be in very good condition, not just pretty, and so we decided to buy it. When we brought it home, it immediately attracted the pollinators. And now we have little fruit all over the tree. Because the fruit trees we had previously planted have never actually blossomed, I found myself in a quick predicament, not knowing what I should really do with all the fruit on the tree. So I put the question out to you and asked on several different social media networks what you would do if you were getting so much fruit on a tree. And the 2 general guidances that we received were that 1, we needed to prune because the branches of the tree were not going to be able to support the weight of the fruit, and 2, that we needed to prune because there's some sort of inherent mechanism in the fruit tree that when the fruit touch, it sends a signal to the tree not to produce that fruit anymore. And because of that, we wouldn't get the size and sweetness and quality of the fruit that we were hoping to get. Because of the way this tree has been pruned before, I am not very concerned about it being too heavy for the branches. Granted, there's a lot of fruit on there, but it's just not a concern I have. However, I am concerned about making sure that I have good tasting, quality fruit. Can you tell yet what the concern is? Look at all of the fruit hiding underneath these leaves. Now some of these are quite small, some are already getting very large, but if they get too large and they touch each other, supposedly they won't grow any further. So we need to thin this out some. Let me show you what kind of things are going to clue me in on what to thin out. Mother Nature's already doing her job for us, and you can see that a lot of these are infertile fruits. And because of that, they are already beginning to drop. So you can see like this here never was pollinated. It hasn't grown at all. And so what we can do just to help make sure that the tree stays healthy is help get all of this excess off the tree so that it doesn't have to try to send any more of its energy to those unpollinated fruits. Here's another section that's severely underpollinated. And in a way, you can say that it's a blessing because we don't have to thin out all the fruits that may have been there. But I think that you can look back to the root of the problem, being that this is a nursery plant, and it simply came into bloom before the pollinators for our area were established for the year. But you can see how easily all that just drops right off. So the infertile fruits may have been an obvious choice, and chances are they would have all come off naturally through the drop. But up here we can see a bigger problem. You see here, this is a good example where we have 2 fruits that have clearly been pollinated and they're already trying to touch each other. I have to make the unfortunate decision and simply pinch off the smaller fruit in favor of the larger one, hoping that it will not get diseased or damaged in any other way and that it will be the one that produces the fruit. Here's a tip for you. I've quickly discovered that I need to be a little more gentle than I was being at first. And it seems to me that when you select a fruit, don't tug. Tugging causes enough vibration that I've lost 1 or 2 fruits that I would rather have kept. But instead, give it a gentle twist. Just a half or 3/4 turn one way and then come back and do the same thing the other way, and that fruit will come right off without having disturbed the rest of them. Here's another situation for you to consider. Sometimes you're not going to get to have your pick of the litter. Here are 3 in a row on the same side of the same branch. And in the end, I may only be able to keep 1 of them. But for now, to make sure I have the best chance possible, my best choice is to remove the one in the middle. Then I can let the other two develop, and if I need to make a selection between them, I can do so later. You know, it came to mind while I was doing this that it's not just a matter of thinning the tree to try to make sure that we have bigger and better fruit, but I believe it's also just good health for the tree. We had a pretty good soaking of rain here today, and these clusters of unfertilized fruit had the blossom ends, and they were just clumped all together and starting to get wet, which soon is going to turn to rot and mold and easily get trapped inside of here next to other fruit, on top of branches, and next to leaves. And it seems to me that by trying to get as much of this out as we can, that we can improve the overall health of the tree, or guarantee its health better for the future. Now this is easy. We're talking about a 3-foot tall pruned dwarf peach tree. If this were a much larger tree, then there are still things that you can do to try to thin out. You can wait until the drop comes and then go and just remove the bigger ones that are touching each other, rather than work on them when they are only about a quarter to a half inch in size. Now there's another part to this puzzle. Now I have all of this drop and thinnings that I have taken off this plant. Now some of these, particularly the infertile buds, I'm going to leave right here on the tree to fertilize itself. But the rest of it, I think, has a better use. Okay, chicken fans, you're always asking me how the baby chicks are doing, and I tell you what, these Buff Orpingtons and golden laced Wyandottes are much more sociable than the other breeds that we've had in the past. They run right up to me, and I don't typically bring them feed, so this is not a conditioned response. But why not? Let's throw some of these out here and let the chicks have a fight for them. That sounds like a fun thing to do. Thank you all for watching, and as always, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share the video. We'll see y'all next time.